All right. Hoping everything's looking good here. Got a new streaming setup. Again, I keep on updating it each and every single time, but I'm just like, please, sir, work with me here. That would be great. Sup, everyone? I'm your female otaku, and I'm here to discuss the latest chapters for Kowloon Generic Romance, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Boku no Hero Academia. Except I'm still not caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen, so work with me here. But yeah, episode six of Monthly Manga Cast. We here been doing this since July, and you guys have been loving the podcast, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you guys for supporting it, and for this very special episode to end off the year. You guys are the guest. So far, we don't have anyone in the chat here, but once people start rolling in, we'll start having more of a discussion. But yeah, before we get started, I do want to give a very special shout out to Sarah Hogan for donating to my Patreon. If you'd like a very special shout out in the next video, stream, or what have you, then please click on the Patreon link in the description to donate, as well as checking out the links to my social medias. All right. It really helps, especially if you follow me on Twitter. That's for sure. Twitter certainly helps. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so we had a lot of interesting chapters. Again, I'm not caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen just yet, but I do plan on doing live read-throughs on my new Twitch channel. Again, the link is in the description. I think that's the first link you'll see. But yeah, I started a Twitch, and I want to start getting the ball rolling with that, as well as doing live read-throughs for Lore Olympus. Yeah. I am behind on season 2, so definitely got to catch up on that, and then we can start including that into the core lineup for Monthly Manga Cast. Let's see here. Oh, it says there's a couple of you guys here. Hey, super sick. Thank you guys so much for coming through to the stream. And of course, if you're watching this in the future, there will be timestamps in the description, as well as the pinned comments, so you can skip on over to whichever one you're caught up on. Thank goodness we got chapters for Kowloon Generic Romance after not having chapters the previous month, so this is nice. You're going to work, so I won't be able to see this live. No worries, this will be uploaded afterwards, after I'm done streaming. So yeah, will you discuss Fate, Redline, or Eden Zero at all? No, I've never heard of either of those, to be honest. Just what we have in the core line, like what did you see on the thumbnail here, which is Kowloon Generic Romance, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Boku no Hero Academia. I will be adding Lore Olympus soon. Again, check out the Twitch to be in the description. So yeah. Hi, thank you guys so much for coming through. Hey, I see Giovanni Herrera. What's good? I see AJ. Hey. All right, then. So let's get started with the one that everyone's caught up on, or at least everyone should be caught up on. And that is Boku no Hero. Okay, so the latest chapters of Boku no Hero, a lot's going on, and it seems that the arc is just about done, oddly enough. That's wild. It seems... I know this arc has been going on for a while, but it almost seems kind of sudden. I don't know. Just me? Yeah. It seems a little sudden. I don't know. But before we get to the most recent chapter, let's talk about the chapter that freaking Mirio comes back in. Oh my god. I cheered. I was reading that chapter during my break at work. And when I saw Mirio come back, I literally cheered out loud in the middle of my cafe, just like, thank you. Oh man, that's something to celebrate, man. Mirio coming back, fighting once again. Thank you. Oh boy, man. And then Mirio's helping out, trying to defeat some of the Nomus, after everyone's getting injured and most people are focusing on Gigantomachia. Like Best Genius, his focus is on Gigantomachia. Deku's trying to help out Todoroki, and Bakugo is trying. He's kind of flipping everywhere. Like sometimes he'll go after Shigaraki, and sometimes he'll go after Gigantomachia. But then Ida was all like, I'm gonna need you to calm down. And for once, Bakugo agreed. And speaking of Bakugo, how many of you guys laughed? How many of you guys laughed at the reveal of his hero name? Because I did. Oh my god. I can't. Dynamite should have been ground zero. Should have been ground zero. At least it's not Kachan. Kachan would have been worse. But like, Dynamite. Oh man, what's going on, chat? Are you only here for a second? All good. Yeah, man. When I first read that chapter, I kind of thought, oh, hold up, wait a minute. I can't see what you're saying. Hold up. I know how to read. Here we go. Okay. When I first saw that chapter, I thought, oh, you thought it was Toga. But yeah, man, like, I see why he chose Dynamite, but still, it's like, at least we're not the only one that's cringing, because freaking Ida and Nejire and Best Genius, they were all like, really? Technically, it's not Dynamite. He has this whole, like, king murder explosion, Dynamite, and for some reason, Ida said the entire title. It's like, really? You don't have to do that. Yeah, God of Destruction. Oh my god, so stupid. So stupid. Literally would have cried if it was Kachan. Like, it would have been so lame. It's like, really? No. I'm at least glad it's not Kachan. But I was also one of those people that couldn't help but start singing the song Dynamite by BTS. I was like, I'm gonna shed a tear. That is so funny. But yeah, Bakugo's now taking a backseat for once, and Deku's trying to help out Todoroki because Dabi, or I guess we should just call him Toya, is trying to burn him to death in front of Endeavor. But the funny thing is, Endeavor passes out from one of Dabi's explosions, and Dabi practically tosses Todoroki out of the way. He's just like, oh, it's not worth it if Dad doesn't see. Here, you're free to go. I'll deal with you next time. I can't. Toya sucks. I love him. You can't really see, but my friend just gave me my Christmas gift, and it's a whole blanket of Toya faces. I was like, I unfortunately like this gift, thank you. But yeah. Oh, you saw the AU with him listening to Dynamite? I believe it. Man. Like, they play BTS songs everywhere. He heard it. All right. I don't care if this takes place like 200 years in the future. Like, nah, he heard it. Yeah. And then in a last attempt to try to break free, because Gigantomachia was finally taken down. Jesus Christ, that took forever. After eventually wearing him out, he got a little tired, but eventually passed out due to the sedative that they tossed in his mouth like chapters and chapters ago. So, finally, thank God. That took forever. But yeah, finally Gigantomachia is down. And then Compress, he was like taking note, and he's like, okay, none of us really achieved our goals. We got close, but like none of us achieved our goals. It doesn't seem like Toga was with them. I could have sworn Toga was with them, but we see her walking in an alleyway. Because I remember her ditching them real quick to go to, Ochako, and then Suyu jumped in, But I could have sworn Toga returned back to them. I could have sworn she was on top of Gigantomachia like everyone else. Like, was she not? Did she not return to them? And then they like asked her. They were just like, "Hey, so how'd it go?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I think I got my answer." Like, did that not happen? Am I just imagining it? I could have sworn that happened. But whatevs, I guess. Was I the only one who got Rhino vibes from Spider-Man from Gigantomachia? You know what? Fair. That's fair. I can't blame you for that one. Is my mic blowing up, by the way? Do I sound like super loud? I might have to like turn down the gain on my mic. I think I might be like blowing up your headphones. If I am, I apologize. Just let me know and I'll lower the thing. But yeah, so Gigantomachia is finally down and they're all getting captured. And Shigaraki, he's like knocked the fuck out. They were saying that like he's zoning in and out of consciousness. And so Compress, he was just so like, okay, so here's what I can do. I'm good, thank you guys. I'm going to set us all free because we still haven't achieved our goals yet. I am the great great grandson of a famous thief who would steal from the rich jerk heroes and give back to the citizens. And when I was like, that's been your goal this entire time? Like that was his grandfather's, like great grandfather's goal. And he's carried on that legacy. I'm just like, what? Like I had no clue. So that's what Compress was doing before he joined the League of Villains. And in the end, he corrected himself, saying that he was a part of the League of Villains, even though they've technically become like the Paranormal Liberation Front. He was just like, nah, I work for the League of Villains and I work for Shigaraki, and I want to set these guys free so that they can achieve their goals. So he literally gouges out a piece of his whole side here, like his rib cage. He just went like, I'm sorry, Compress, when did you have super strength? You can only compress things into little marbles. When did you have super strength? When I can't do that to myself. Okay, when could he do that? Can someone please tell me when he had super strength? Okay, I would like to know. Thanks. But yeah, it was literally like a whole thing of like his rib cage there that he gouged out. And then he set the rest of his teammates free. He compressed Dabi in one of the marbles, lent it to Spinner, and he was like, hey, Spinner, you take over as like the right-hand man. I was never the right-hand man, okay? I was only an accomplice. And this is my final act. So yeah, he gave himself up for the sake of the team. And if it wasn't for that, the League of Villains would have actually lost. That's insane. It threw you for a loop when you read that, right? Right? Like, it's like, how did you do that, sir? But yeah. And in the final act, as he calls it, he reveals his mask because there's no point in keeping his identity a secret anymore. You know, he reveals everything out to everyone of who he is and just kind of passes on, you know, the story, you can say, because he doesn't see himself a part of it anymore, you know, considering that he, gouged out his ribs to save the team. So, yeah. And with that, the League of Villains actually escape. Just them. We don't really see the other members of the Paranormal Liberation Front. I don't know what's going on with them. Like Skeptic, I don't know where he's at. Because the last time we saw him, he was also on top of Gigantomachia. But Gigantomachia has fallen. He's down. So Deku, he was like ready to knock the shit out of Shigaraki. But in those final moments when Shigaraki was like being taken away, he was being more and more possessed by All For One. And Deku like saw this look on his face, even though he had like the hand on him. He like saw this look, being all like, "It's you need saving. You need to be saved," and that's like a game changer. Like, is the end goal to save Shigaraki instead of completely annihilating him. Because All For One hasn't really been much of a threat. Even though he's supposed to be the main big bad, he's never really been a threat, honestly. He has everyone else do his dirty work. But now that Shigaraki is who he is now, becoming this whole weapon of destruction, and All For One has possessed him, I can see why Deku is all like, ooh, I think you need to be saved, buddy. Like, obviously, even if they do save Shigaraki from All For One, it's not like Shigaraki's going to be set free and live a normal, like, no. No, he's going to be put in Tartarus and stay there for the rest of his life. But it's kind of sad, and it's kind of like how I felt when I read the villain arc. He needs saving and some chapstick. Very good. Always the chapstick. It's kind of like how I felt during the villain arc when we found out all of their origin story, and it made you realize that all they really needed was the proper guidance, the proper attention and therapy, a big old glass of therapy. That's what they needed, but they never got that. Poor boy needs moisturizer. Absolutely. The whole concept seemed to be prepping Shigaraki to become All For One's new body. Absolutely. For sure. It's pretty clear now. So now All For One is going to be a threat once he completely takes over Shigaraki's body, and I see that happening. But All For One, he just wants more power, so he's probably going to find a way to get their powers up to 100%. Because if I recall, they're only at 75%, and Shigaraki took a major toll on his body during this whole battle, so it's going to take a couple of arcs before we see them again. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised, because I do believe that there's going to be a time skip after this arc, so we may not be able to see them for a couple of years, depending on how the story's going to play out. But yeah, don't worry about being late, buddy. We're just we're talking about the first series, Boku no Hero. You're good. How soon do I think he'll make his move? It really just, it depends. Because he's going to want more power. Shigaraki needs to heal. And I believe there's going to be a time skip. So we really won't see him for a couple of arcs. And that could be like a solid few years. Maybe 2 years tops. Depending on how long Horikoshi's going to make these arcs. Because typically after a long arc, we'll have like a short, 10, 15, maybe 20 chapter arc, nothing too crazy. It's going to be fun. Maybe, since I do believe there's going to be a time skip, we're probably going to see their everyday lives as being pro heroes. If not, maybe them like just graduating from UA. Because as we all know, this is being told from Deku's perspective, past tense, because he's already the number one pro hero. So he's not gonna be what year is Deku? At the moment, he's about to become a second year. It's like March, so they're literally just about to go from first years to second years. So yeah, I lost my train of thought. We could see them like just graduating, just starting out as pro heroes. Or maybe Deku's already in like the top 20. But we still have to see him control the rest of the quirks. That's really important. I'm sure that's what we're going to see in the upcoming arcs, is seeing him control the rest of the quirks. Because we did see a hint of one of the quirks coming out, but Deku suppressed it. He was like, listen, I know you want to jump out right now, but I can't do this right now. Okay, I don't know how to handle you. I'm not prepared. Take a back seat. This was literally happening right when Shigaraki was getting taken away. So we got another one coming. Deku gets his spidey sense. True facts. That's honestly what happens. Like, God. We don't really know much about this next quirk, but all we know is that Deku felt like I think it was either a spark or a painful spark. I can't remember what specifically it was, if it was a spark or a painful spark. My opinion on Alice in Borderlands. I watched the OVA series way back when it first came out. Fun fact, that was one of my first anime reviews. Don't look it up, it's awful. But I enjoyed that. I didn't see the Netflix live action series because I saw the trailer for it. And I also read a little bit of the manga too. And I was like, this doesn't happen in the manga. But I don't know. Maybe I just need a refresher. But from what I saw from the trailer, I was like, this doesn't happen. But we'll see. But anyway, back to Boku no Hero. You don't have the facilities for that, man. True facts. Oh man. Yeah. So lots to come, but without a doubt, I would say that the villains kind of won. If this truly is the last or maybe second to third to last chapter of this crazy ass arc, the villains kind of won. Like, yeah, there's not that many of them left, but they destroyed the Hero Society and how the citizens perceive it. You know, they took out a lot of members from the Hero Society, greatly injured them as well, and traumatized quite a few of them. Look at Endeavor; he can't speak or do anything. But the fact that Dabi, you know, showed that tape and revealed everything about, you know, who he is and also what other heroes could do, it's like, yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true, Jet. The next couple of chapters are probably going to focus on how the Hero Society, or specifically the Hero Commission, how they're going to try to clear this up, especially with what happened to Hawks. They're going to be like, oh, well, that's not good. Oh, man. We no longer live in a society. True facts, Detective Ward. We no longer live in a society. Oh, man. That's, yeah. Yeah, everything sucks. Everything sucks. But on the bright side, all the students are okay because the students can't get hurt. Besides the fact that Bakugo got shot, he's still talking and moving. Okay? He's fine. That's the power of anime. Time for more Dogman Police Commissioner. Yo, you're right. You're right. He's gonna make an appearance. Yeah, so that's what's going on with Boku no Hero. Absolutely wild. We're finally towards the end of it. Jesus. I don't know when the next chapter is coming out, because normally Shonen Jump takes a break at around this time. So I don't know if we're having a break tomorrow or the week after. It might be the week after, because in Japan they recognize more New Year's than Christmas. So they're probably going to take a break next week. The girl that got burned, you mean Nejire? Nejire's still fighting. She seems to have a awful scar on like the whole, what's that? I think that's the left side of her body. But she was still fighting. Like once Mirio popped out, she was like, oh, I'm fine. Mirio's here. I can keep fighting. And she was like, I don't know if she was battling Gigantomachia or battling the Nomus. But all the Nomus actually all ran away with Shigaraki. So that sucks. We're going to have to see those guys again that are practically impossible to defeat. Oh, Viz Media says the chapters are coming out on the 3rd of January. Thank you for that. Okay. So they are on break this week. Got it. These breaks are gonna kill me. She could join the Todoroki Club then. I guess. Oh no. Oh yes, no, we all do agree that God Explosion, Murder God, Dynamite is absolutely cringe. Yeah, no, it's awful. I hate it. Like I said, it should have been Ground Zero. All right then. From Boku no Hero, we're going to move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. And again, I'm not caught up. I know I said I'd be caught up or close to caught up by this time, but holiday season, what are you going to do? So I'm just towards the end of the Goodwill arc, and my god, the Goodwill arc is long. That's long. I thought it was going to be so much shorter. I expected it to be like the length of the Boku no Hero Sports Festival arc, but nah. This is long. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. I tweeted it out the other day. I'm like, yo, this is not your average sports festival. Like, this arc goes in, and this arc will actually be adapted to the anime. So if you don't want to get spoiled on this, please make sure that you're not watching this part. The author loves long arcs for real. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for telling me, buddy. I did get spoiled on one thing, but it's so minor. It's just something that happens to Gojo later on, but it's like really minor. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I'm not gonna say it. I know some people are still sticking around alive who haven't like caught up on the manga or even attempted to read the manga. Which chapter? I'm literally towards the end of the arc, man. Like, I don't remember the number. Is it 50? I think I'm around chapter 50, 52, something like that. But we get to learn about each and every single member of the Kyoto school. And they're wild, okay? They have so much anger. These are some angry kids, except for that one girl. The one girl with the blue hair who's like a total fangirl of Gojo, which we stan. She's the only like cool one, honestly. Everyone else is just a bunch of assholes. May I just say, I hate Mai so much, okay? I don't care if she's prettier than Maki. Maki's my best girl. No one will top Maki for me. She is awesome, okay? But Mai sucks. That one girl, I don't remember her name, but she has that ugly ass hair and she acts like a witch, you know? She's like sticking up for Mai, being like, oh, you don't know what it's like to be a woman Jujutsu sorcerer, okay? Especially in Mai's case, because she's a part of like this family, and she has to take over as the head of the family. But Maki, she's just like, no, I'm gonna stay the head of the family, and she can't even use cursed energy. And it's just like, okay. Can you fight? Can you shut up and can you fight? Like, that's what Kujisaki, she's like, yo, fuck this, man. I'm a beat your ass. I don't care what you say. Yo, Toto, boy. Yo, Toto's great. He's so awesome. My God. He's literally trying, at first, he was trying to pummel Itadori. And then he was like, wait, what's your type of woman? Itadori is just, oh, thank you for 10 out of 10 impression, thank you. Itadori is just I guess I like tall women with a big ass, like Jennifer Lawrence. I wouldn't really count Jennifer Lawrence as a tall woman with a big ass, but you know what? I know I like tall women with big asses. That may or may not be myself, but you decide. I can't. They became like best bros, and then Toto has this whole imaginary flashback. He literally creates his own AU of what it would be like to go to high school with Itadori. He was just so touched by his words, and he was like, I'm going to help you out, best friend. He just immediately starts calling him best friend. He's like, I'm gonna help you out. All right. And that's what he does. For the rest of the fight, he just helps him out. Let me talk about Panda real quick. So, it's true. Panda is not a panda. In fact, he's kind of considered the son of the principal. And the principal was all like, so your brother and sister are inside you. A panda's a cursed doll, right? Because that's the thing that the principal does. But more specifically, he's considered to be a cursed corpse, which we also see in the Kyoto school. They have a cursed corpse as well. But the cursed corpse in the Kyoto school is being controlled by someone who's extremely handicapped. As for Panda, he controls himself. and his brother and sister are in him. We don't know what the sister is, but the brother is a whole gorilla. Jujutsu Kaisen, everyone. Jujutsu Kaisen. How? Explain. Please. Oh man. No, Jujutsu Kaisen is crazy, man. I can't. I can't. But freaking. So he's fighting the robot freaking cursed corpse, and he wins. So that was pretty awesome. I was like, yo, go panda. But Jesus Christ, panda is not a panda. I can't wait for that to be animated. That's going to be so cool. That's going to be a fight that no one knew they needed. Giovanni Herrera, are you... Giovanni Herrera, I know you're not caught up with your manga, and I know you're not reading the manga. Why are you here spoiling yourself? Why are you doing this, buddy? Why you do this to yourself? And then we go over to Fushiguro and that one guy who's also an asshole. He's like the self-proclaimed leader of the Kyoto school. He's this emo-looking guy. He's like the son of one of those like great Jujutsu sorcerer families. Apparently they're not as high up there as Maki and Mai's family, but they're like, you know, one of the prime families of Jujutsu sorcery. And he's able to control blood. So I'm like, okay, Dead Man Wonderland much? Kekai Sensen much? I don't mean to be an asshole, but I'm like, really? Okay, sir. But he's fighting Fushiguro, because Fushiguro's like, why are you guys trying to kill Itadori? And he's just all like, because Sukuna's in it? Like, bruh, like, you don't see a problem with that? So they're duking it out. And then, of course, freaking, I don't remember his name, but the flower curse arrives. And this guy's weird. Okay, he can talk, but when he speaks in like some sort of foreign tongue, but everyone else around him can like, in their mind, they can make out what he's saying. It's kind of strange. It's this weird like telepathy type thing, but that's how he's communicating with everyone. And he's saying that he like speaks for the planet. So, you know, he's pulling a Lorax, essentially. He's like, hey, yo, I speak for the trees. But he's speaking for the planet. He's being like, yo, the oceans are crying, the trees are crying, the ground is crying. You guys have just ruined this earth. And while the earth does know that not all humans are bad, you've guys done too much damage already. So I'm going to take you out. Like, almost like Psyche K. I've never watched Psyche K. So, yeah. Language from the Future, I believe it. Well, no, he's old. He's like an old ass curse. So like, it's probably not from the future because he's old. I speak for the trees and they want to break your kneecaps. That's good. That's a good one. Nice. You get points, Detective Boy. I'm so glad I'm streaming this. This is great. He's just like, he's there trying to defend the planet, and I'm sure he's also kind of thinking like, because like we've heard his conversations with Ghetto, and Ghetto is just so like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm on the curses side. The curses are the true humans of the planet. You said, and they're gonna rise again. I'm gonna help them out. They're gonna rule the place again. I'm a stick with them. I still don't know Ghetto's full backstory just yet. You know, still only seen hints and like bits of it. But it's kind of weird that he's actually kind of like leading them. How is he leading them? There's no way he's more powerful than all of them, right? I don't believe it. I speak for the trees, respect the planet or I'll break your knees. Boom. It's done. Put that on a plaque. That's his motto. So Fushiguro is trying to take care of, and that other guy too from the kiddo school. They're trying to take care of the flower curse. And then the teachers, they're seeing this, you know, like Gojo, and like the principal and stuff. With the principal, okay, so the principal of the Kyoto school is ripped. He's ripped as fuck. How? How? You want to say that's due to all the Jujutsu sorcery, but it's like, you see how old this man looks? I can't. How? I was like, listen, I hate this man. This man is up to no good. Master Roshi, yeah, Master Roshi type. True facts. I'm like, this ugly, old ass Scrooge of a man who's trying to kill a teenager is ripped as fuck and is going to save the day. Like, huh? How ripped we talking? Like Armstrong ripped? I wouldn't say that ripped, but like, because we've seen him, and like you've seen him in the anime too, like he's like all hunched over and stuff, and he can't even get up to get himself some tea. We've seen this. So I'm wondering if it's something similar with Nanami, where it's like, hey, I'm just gonna reserve all of my power until I have to like actually use it. I'm wondering if it's something like that. Ripped rock and roll old dude. Literally, that's what I thought. I was like, yo, this dude looks like he was thriving in the 70s. He was there during the prime time of the rock and roll concerts, man. He went to all of them. He looks like he spent his years in San Francisco. Like, this man has done it all. That's what I see when I saw that. I can't believe this. How? I missed some comments. 1 second. Have you read the prequel chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen yet? Oh, what's this? There's a volume 0 of Jujutsu Kaisen coming soon, and all I'll say is that it's interesting. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Who does it focus on? I'm like, do you like Jujutsu Kaisen? Absolutely. I quit after the first volume, but I've encountered manga before that took a bit longer to get good. Should I try again? Well, I mean, I like it. That's why we're talking about it. That's why I'm trying to catch up. So, yeah. Yeah, my guy. Like when you save power up in a video game. Absolutely, AJ. Absolutely. So, Gojo can't fight in the battle, oddly enough. He's like, he went to go in. They haven't set up a domain. They set up another veil. Like, in the most recent episode, if you've been keeping up with the anime, what's that, episode 12, episode 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen, you got to see Mahito create a veil around Junpei's school, which, by the way, Junpei! Okay, I knew that death was coming, because, of course, you know, I read the manga, but I'm just like, Junpei! But anyway, so he created a veil, and with this veil, he made it specifically so that Gojo can't get in. So he's just like, well, I'm stuck. You guys can go on in though. Go ahead, have some fun. I'll be around. When you say we've all seen him, I mean, yeah, I'm like, no, for real. Like, we've seen the Kyoto principal in the anime. I mean, I assume you're keeping up with the anime, and if you're not, then I'm assuming you've read a couple of chapters of the manga. Like, we've seen him before. He's the one that, you know, Gojo went to go talk to, and he was like spreading some shit, being like, hey, I know you purposely tried to kill Itadori by setting him off on that mission. I'm watching you and just letting you know that we need to update the staff around here because the students are getting stronger and you're not prepared for that. So, like, that's Gojo. Just laying down the law. Giovanni, are you not even watching Jujutsu Kaisen? Is that how you don't know him? Because, like, what do you mean, nope? This literally happened in the anime, bruh. I can't. You are a mad lad. You truly are. But Yeah, so that's essentially where I'm at. I'm literally like towards the end of the arc, unless there's like a lot more that's gonna happen. But it feels like it's ending, and like Toto's like joining in on the fight as well. Same with Itadori. Itadori's learning the new stuff that he was taught by Toto. I can't. Best bromance, bruh. Gather the Jujutsu Kaisen PA. There's that other girl too. I don't remember her name, but she's like the equivalent to Gojo in terms of like school staff. I forgot. They're like considered like the supervisor or something like that. I don't know what specifically they're considered. PTA. I figured that's what you meant when you said PA. I figured that's what you meant. I was like Parent Teacher Association. But there's a girl who's hanging around there too, and I believe she went to go joining in the fight. So yeah, this is kind of wild. Nothing. I know nothing about the anime or manga. Giovanni Herrera, why? Why? Well, then you can't complain that you don't know who any of these guys are because you haven't been keeping up with Jujutsu Kaisen. You can't complain. You have no right, my guy. You have no right. So yeah, Goodwill Event. I can't believe this is going to be animated in the series. It's literally the next arc, and it's going to be wild. The girl with the scar. Yeah. I forgot her name. I know she's on the cover of like the next volume. The one after this that you see on my screen here. This one's volume 6. I believe she's the cover of volume 7, and she kind of looks cracked as fuck. So I'm just like, what's going on here? Y'all good? Y'all good? I don't know. I'm about to find out. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. I love it. Again, we're gonna do live readings of Jujutsu Kaisen on my Twitch channel. The link in the description to my Twitch is, well, I had said the whole sentence backward. The link to my Twitch is in the description. Yeah, hopefully we'll start streaming soon. I would like to stream relatively within the next week and a half-ish or so. But, holidays, we'll see how it goes. But I'm having so much fun. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. You happy you're here? Oh, that's great, Giovanni Herrera. I'm happy you're here too. You're awesome. All right. So, with that, let's move on to the final manga to discuss. And I do have a special bonus round later that I think you guys will like. But for right now, we're going to talk about Kowloon Generic Romance. Because we got 2 chapters that came out this month. Thank God. After the previous month when there was no chapters. So, with Kowloon Generic Romance, we get 2 chapters. One mostly focused on Miyuki and Gwen. And they're just having like an interesting debate, you could say. And then the chapter afterwards, we discuss, it was pretty quick. It was really mainly about Kujidai and how she's going to live her life from now on, which technically we've had a lot of chapters like that, but this was in like a different sense, like how she's going to physically live her life rather than morally live her life. And we also got a couple of interesting theories out there too. But one thing that was confirmed is that Gwen, the Gwen that we see hanging out with Miyuki, is the original. Because he keeps on calling the other Gwen that was the waiter over at the cafe. He keeps on saying that one is the fake. So that's insane. I thought it was the other way around. But that is not the case. And Miyuki brings up an interesting point. That he's pretty sure, but not 100% positive that Kudo is also a clone. So I'm just here sitting like, really? More clones? Really? Gwen says it himself. He's like, yo, this whole town is a fake. It's interesting that Miyuki doesn't know all the clones. I figured, I don't know why, I kind of just assumed that he was like one of the higher ups in this whole thing. But no, he's just a guy who's interested in clone research. So that's why he was like saying about like Kudo and also taking an interest in Kujidai. Because he's running into these clones and he's just like, this should be interesting. And now he's leaving to go meet up with Gwen's clone. And that's where we get like this interesting debate where Gwen, he got really pissed off. He was just like, I don't want you to meet my fake. And Miyuki's like, why? And Gwen was all like, because I don't want you to fall in love with him. So then, Miyuki's just like, well, think about it. I've had experiences with you. It's like when you get a traveling case, you know, you've put stickers on it, you've traveled around the world with it, and then you lose your traveling case. So then you can get a second one. Maybe it looks just like your previous traveling case. Maybe you decorate it the exact same way too, but you don't have the same feelings for that traveling case because you didn't spend that same amount of time with it like the original one. You know, you didn't go to the same places. You don't have that foundation like you did with the other one. So then Gwen was like, okay, solid point. However, my clone can talk. My clone is not an inanimate object. It can talk and it can still say stuff to you that'll make you fall in love with it. And then Miyuki's like, well, that's a solid point because looking at Kujirai, which he's still incredibly fascinated by, he's like, looking at Kujirai, you know, she looks like the original, sounds like the original. Even some things she likes are some of the things that the original liked as well. But she does not share the same memories. You know, she doesn't have barely any memories. Which is why Kudo hasn't really fallen in love with Kujidai, the current Kujidai. Pro move, compare your girl to her traveling case. Done, AJ, exactly. Well, except Gwen and Miyuki, I don't know if you're... It doesn't sound like that you read the manga, but Gwen and Miyuki, they're both dudes. They're grown ass men, and they do be the gay lovers. They're insane as well. But what was it? Yeah, that's why Kudo like can't fall in love with current Kuja. He could technically, like there was that one time, you know, he kissed her that one time, but he was kind of seeing things. He was kind of like in a daze, but still. But he does hold himself back, and he was like, he did say that like he could never fall in love with her. You know, the memories just aren't the same. It hurts too much. But I don't think he's a clone. Kudo can't be a clone because he has memories of the original Kujirai. He has photos and everything. Like, he moved into this town as well. He hasn't been living here all of his life. So there's no way he's a clone, honestly. Miyuki also believes that current Kujirai and Kudo are lovers, which isn't the case. So, you know, he doesn't know everything. Oh, you tried typing guy but autocorrect? Oh, okay. No worries. All good. It'd be like that sometimes. So true. So Gwen was just like, okay, if you start to fall in love with my clone, or even if my clone starts to fall in love with you, I'm gonna kill you. I'm just like, wouldn't you want to kill your clone? Why wouldn't Gwen want to kill his clone? That's the fake anyway. Why wouldn't he want to do that? Are they linked somehow? Do they both have to be alive? I don't get it. That comment was a little off to me, that he would just instead go after Miyuki instead of going after the fake Gwen. But Miyuki's just like, I guess this whole conversation was pointless. Anyway, I'm gonna go see your clone. And then he heads out. And then in the meantime, with Kujirai, you know, she's hanging out with what's-her-face, the trans woman. I always forget her name. And they were saying, like, hey, we should throw, like, a moving-in party for Xiao Mei. And Kujirai like, yeah, sure, that sounds like a great idea. And then while on the topic of, you know, homes, she was just like, hey, why not move out of your place and get a new apartment? So that you can start off fresh, you know, not have any remnants of the previous Kujirai's clothes or her items. Like, you can truly just be you. And then Kujirai's like, no, I don't want to do that. I kind of want to keep everything. Like, even the clothes. And then her friend was just like, what? But, like, you're not doing this for Kudo's sake, are you? And Kujirai's like, no, I think I'm doing this for the original Kujirai's sake. Which is something I didn't expect her to say. Like, she has a bit of respect or some sort of weird sentimental feelings towards the original Kujirai. And that's probably because she wouldn't exist without the original. But still, it's kind of like, huh. Okay. So she ends up talking to Kudo and was just like, hey, we're throwing this party for Xiao Mei. You want to join? And Kudo's like, nah, I'm good. You guys can knock yourself out. But here's a bit of money, to help out. And she's like, oh, sweet, great. This will handle all the food funds there, the food budget. And it seems like they're being kind of cordial with each other. But as you can see in the image that I have up here, there's this sad kind of distance that they've realized they have to keep up now. There's no more necessarily lies, but there's this distance. It's like, ooh, awkward. So I wonder what's going to happen with their relationship in the future, but it's not looking the best. Not looking the best. But yeah, chapters were pretty short. Nothing too much to discuss there, but I'm glad that we at least got some, I don't know, maybe next month we're not going to get any again, and then we'll get some chapters in February. But the manga is doing super, super well. Because there's only 2 volumes out in Japan, and they've already sold, 150K copies. And the manga is now a year old, believe it or not. So with how successful this manga is, it's only been a year, and there's only 2 volumes out, we could get an anime very soon. But I think with a series like this, there's no way, unless you rush it, for it to be adapted into like a 12, 13 episode series. Because that's what they did with After the Rain. After the Rain, I think they did a solid job, but they stopped it like literally a volume or 2 short. So depending on how the story goes with Kowloon Generic Romance, I think it'd be best if it was adapted into a like 24 episode anime. But there are some chapters that you can certainly skip, specifically chapters that focus more on Xiao Mei. And a lot of chapters, like, for example, the most recent chapter, like, not that much really happened. So you can completely skip over that, or you can just take, like, 1 or 2 scenes from it, and that's all you really need. So we'll see how that goes if an anime is ever announced, but it is very likely, especially since After the Rain did so well, and now this manga series is doing hella well. So it's definitely possible to see an adaptation in the near future. Not this year. Highly doubt that. I don't think there's enough content for it to be adapted right now or even within the next year, but like maybe the year after. It took a hot second for After the Rain to be adapted into an anime anyway. I think it took like 3 to 4 years. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, guys, that is not exactly the end of the episode, but that's the end of us talking about our core lineup. I want to know some manga series that you've been reading. I've been reading some, let's hope for 2022, true facts. I've been reading quite a few bit of manga. If you've seen my most recent video where I talk about my manga 2020 recommendations, I highly recommend that video. It didn't seem to pop up on a lot of people's feeds, so do make sure you check that out when you can. But one of the manga that I really praised, I think it was like the first manga I mentioned, and that was How Do We Relationship. I'm currently on volume 2. There's only 2 volumes out right now that are translated. I love this manga so much. It's just it's a good Yuri romance, and it focuses on adults, which is great because adults will talk out their feelings. What was really funny is that at the end of volume 1, you get the author's notes, and the author was saying how she came up with the storyline for How Do We Relationship. And she was saying how she first said, I want it to be a Yuri romance. And then she was like, how come all the Yuri romances stop when the 2 leads get together? There's so much stuff that happens in a relationship. There's arguments, there's more growth, there's a bunch of firsts to get through. Like, why does it always stop at the confession? I don't understand why this isn't as popular. And I was like, oh, she knows. That's lovely. I really appreciated that. I'm like, this is a woman who noticed there was something missing in the manga industry, and more specifically in the Yuri romance industry. And she was like, I'm gonna make a story about this. Bravo, man. Like, props to you, because I am being fed with your manga series. With How Do We Relationship, volume 1 at least, because I just started volume 2. But volume 1 is so good, man. Like, it's really, you can place their scenario almost in like any other type of relationship, because you're just watching two people trying to figure out how to be a couple. There's a lot of important things that I've learned from the manga as well, because there's this one chapter where, one of the girls says, like, you're a pain in the ass. And that was hurtful, but the other person in the relationship, Miwa, she was like, oh, it's okay, I'm over it, it's fine. But we later find out, like, hey, each couple has stuff that they don't like about each other. Like, you can still love each other, but, like, what are some things that you don't like about your significant other? Do they leave the toilet seat up? Do they burp a lot? Do they keep the TV on too loud or something like that? Like, are they irresponsible? Do they not clean up after themselves? Like, these aren't things to ruin a relationship. They're just things that are, like, kind of annoying. And that's okay. There's no reason to break up over that. And I was like, whoa, I've never even thought about this, because this is never tackled. Ever. So I really have respect for the mangaka. She's really paying attention to, she's kind of paying attention to, like, not just really human behavior, but just kind of relationships as a whole and what building a relationship is like. That's awesome. What's going on, chat? I just finished Chainsaw Man, and I gotta say, loved all the guts and blood in there. That's one manga that I do want to catch up on, but I'm probably not gonna catch up on for a little bit, because I gotta focus on, Lore Olympus and friggin' Jujutsu Kaisen. But I heard that Chainsaw Man is ending, but they're pulling a Tokyo Ghoul. That is just part 1. There's going to be a part 2 of the manga series. So literally, it's like Tokyo Ghoul, because you have Tokyo Ghoul and you have Tokyo Ghoul Re. So I think that's super awesome, man. And it got confirmed for an anime, and it's to be done by MAPPA, which is insane, because, like, MAPPA has so much stuff on their plate. It's like, sir, y'all gonna take a break or something? But yeah. Jet Monkey says, I know some people might not like it, but I've been reading Fire Force and the shoujo manga Takana and Hana. I've never heard of Takana and Hana, but the Fire Force manga, I don't know many people who read it. Personally, I couldn't get into the anime, but that's cool that you're reading it. It does have a huge fan base. I feel like it's almost kind of not as big, but I feel like it's kind of similar with Sword Art Online, how you do have this large amount of people who love Sword Art Online, but you also have a large amount of haters. The only difference between Sword Art Online and Fire Force is that the haters are loud with Sword Art Online. The haters for Fire Force are not loud. The fan base for Fire Force is loud. I'll give you that. My friend is trying to bully me to get into One Piece. Oh boy, I read 1 volume last year because I just want to be familiar with One Piece. And I would like to read a couple more volumes, but I'm too busy reading so much other manga. Like, I gotta catch up to Komi-san. I'm trying to catch up to The Way of the House Husband. I still gotta finish reading the latest volume of Wodokoi. And I'm currently reading, volume 2 of How Do We Relationship. Plus, I gotta catch up with the Jujutsu Kaisen and Lore Olympus, so I got a lot on my plate right now. You happy with all the news? Sick. Nice. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for coming through to the final episode of Monthly Manga Cast of 2020. I don't even know when the next episode's coming out. I usually check my calendar, but I forgot to do that this time, so let me see here. Because it's always on the last Friday of the month. So let's try to find that, if I can type. Can Sloan type? We don't know. Here we go. Okay. All right, so the last Friday of January is, ooh, nice, it's a good amount of time. Okay, so the 29th. So that one for this, oh, wait, hold up. Does that say February? Oh, wait, hold up. I think that said February. Okay, no, it's still the 29th. Okay, yeah, so yeah, it's the 29th of January. That's when the next episode of Monthly Manga Cast will be out. As for the special guest, last time I was supposed to try to get Chibi Reviews on, but he had a couple of he ended up getting busy last minute. So I would like to get Chibi Reviews to come in for this episode. If not, then I'm going to contact my friends over at Bonsai Pop. They're awesome. Do check out their videos, especially if you love video essays, because their video essays are amazing. Bonsai Pop. Do check them out. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Do make sure you follow me on Twitter so you can keep up with announcements and stuff, or maybe delays and stuff like that. That's where you'll get like the quickest updates for sure, is my Twitter. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming through. This was super fun. I'm really glad I decided to do this. There was a lot of you that came through. You guys are super interactive. And those of you who are watching this in the future, let me know some of the manga that you've read this past year, and your overall thoughts on the recent chapters. All right, guys. I'm your female otaku. Sayonara.